Everyone can hear me? Yes, awesome. You guys, welcome to the SMART program. Today is the day that we are kicking off a 60-day program to eating healthy and figuring out how to eat the foods that we like in a healthy way. So this program, again, is 60 days. Each week, you are going to get a resource. So that's your PowerPoint with a voiceover from myself, and it's going to give you a link so that you have all the information, so you get to do it on your own time. Right now, I have your work email as the one to go to. If you would like that changed, please do let us know. Each week, you're going to have a challenge. We encourage that you do this challenge because it keeps you engaged in the program. As small as it may be, each victory that we have each week is one more step to that healthy goal. The challenges are due, so you're going to, every Wednesday, you're going to get the PowerPoint voiceover. By the following Friday, you're going to have the challenges be due. For this program, we are going to have a starting weight. So we are going to have weigh-ins tomorrow in the Bariatric Center from 8 to 9:30. And then you can come on Friday. What?
Third floor pavilion. Right across from from Pavilion Surgery.
And this is all in your packet as well. Or you can come to Human Resources from 8 to 9:30 on Friday. Or if you know your weight, send us an email. Now you can email us this year at smart@nkch.org. Again, that's in your packet. I'm just giving you a nice little intro. My name is Casey Quintanilla, and I'm going to give it over to Jackie Roth. Thanks, guys.
Perfect. All right, well, I see a lot of familiar faces, but for those of you that don't know me, I am Jackie, one of the outpatient dietitians here at the hospital. My office is the third floor pavilion in the Bariatric Center. So when you do weigh-ins tomorrow, if you stop by between 8 and 9:30, it'll be myself and then Jenna, another dietitian, up there to do that. And then like Casey said, if you'd prefer to just email us, it is smart@nkch.org. That email account is hooked up to come to 3 dietitians and then to Casey as well. And we will be more than happy to answer any questions you have along the way. You will send in your weekly challenges to that email, and we will check over those and email you back with questions and concerns. And honestly, just anything we can do along the way to make this program kind of easier and better for you, please just let us know. So what we're going to be talking about over the course of the next 8 weeks, today we're going to start with kind of a basic overview, a little bit about your packets and how to kind of assess what calorie range you are going to fall into. The following weeks after that, we'll dive more in depth into carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, kind of the role they play in the body, and then healthier choices to make. We will talk about eating out and portion distortion. Our next actual seminar is going to be on mindful and emotional eating. So not only focusing on what to eat during this program, but why we eat and how to eat in a healthy manner, because that's another really important component to healthy lifestyle. We will talk about rethinking your drink, so the hidden calories in juices and sodas and Gatorades and alcoholic beverages, all that good stuff. And then we'll take you on kind of a virtual grocery store tour and talk about some healthier options and how to navigate the grocery store. Okay? Anyone have any questions before we kind of get going with a few things about the program or? Nobody? Okay. So what is the goal of this? So what we want to do is get you started with kind of a healthy eating, healthy food plan that helps to not only lower your calorie intake to give you some weight loss, but we still want to give you enough energy to function and have, energy throughout the day to do your jobs. We want to give you enough carbohydrates, enough fat, and enough protein to meet all of your body's needs. A lot of people think when it's time to lose weight, well, the more I can cut calories, the better. Okay, and that's kind of the opposite of what we want you to do. We want a lower calorie intake, but we still have to provide your body with enough fuel to function throughout the day. And then we also want to give you variety. A lot of us, when we start kind of dieting and meal planning, we tend to kind of start cutting out certain food groups and cutting out certain foods, and we don't have to do that, okay? You can still have a lot of variety in what you eat and still really enjoy eating while promoting weight loss at the same time. So what we have done is kind of divided it into a 1,200, a 1,500, and an 1,800 calorie meal plan. Which category you're going to be kind of assigned to is going to be based on kind of that weigh-in in your BMI tomorrow. So I think in your packets, what page is it on? Page number 5. You have a nice colorful chart from Casey, and it shows you those different BMI ranges. So the BMI of 19 to 24 goes into the 1,200 calorie range, 25 to 29, the 1,500 calorie range, and then 30 plus would be the 1,800 calorie range. So that's how we're going to divide into the groups. Now, last time when we did this, we did have a few people email us that were on, vegan diets or were exercising a lot, and they thought probably a different calorie range would be more appropriate. And if that's the case, email us. Okay, that's the type of questions that we're here for, and we can personalize a little bit more to meet your needs based on whatever you have going on. But kind of the overview, that's how we're going to do it. Now, a lot of you, if you've worked with me, I am not a huge, strict calorie counter, so don't obsess over these numbers. Okay, we're also focusing on quality. What type of calories are we eating? Because there is a big difference in, 100 calories of almonds versus 100 calories worth of Oreos. Okay, so use these as guidelines to get going, but do not obsess over them and don't think that you are strict, no more than, the 1,200 calorie. And we'll kind of talk about that throughout the courses of the next week. So first things to get started with, starting on day 1, if you are someone who skips a lot of meals, that's one of the first things I want you working on. Okay, one of the worst things you can do for your metabolism is, not eating until dinner time. So skipping breakfast, skipping lunch, and piling it all up in the evening. You want to give your body fuel throughout the course of the day. And I always explain it, think about if you fill your car up with gas at 5 o'clock, and then you drive all night long, your car runs out of gas. Okay, it runs out of fuel. And that's just like your body. So when you're eating dinner, you're giving your body fuel, giving your body gas. Your metabolism's going all night long and you're burning that up. So you need breakfast in the morning to kind of refuel the body and give yourself some energy. So breakfast is really, really important, as is lunch and dinner. So number one thing to start on today is if you're a meal skipper, try not to skip meals. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then depending on your schedule, incorporating some snacks. So I typically don't like people to go longer than 4 to 5 hours. Even closer to the 3-hour range isn't a bad thing. So example, if you eat breakfast at 6 a.m. and lunch break isn't until noon, I would probably recommend to incorporate a mid-morning snack in there. Now, if breakfast is at 8 a.m. and your lunch break is 11:30, okay, that's within that time frame. So we most likely wouldn't need a snack to break it up. But I really don't like you going any longer than 4 to 5 hours max. So based on your schedule, just incorporating snacks as needed. And then big key at those meals is we want to do variety. So a lot of us, I'll come back to this, we are carbohydrate lovers. Okay, I see several head nods. This is our favorite food group. Breads, pastas, rices, cereals, tortillas, crackers, fruits and juices fall here, milk and yogurt falls here, and then all of those snacks and sweets, cookies, cakes, ice creams, candies, those are all carbohydrates. So let's kind of think of a standard breakfast. So maybe you do a bowl of cereal, carbohydrate. We put milk on it, carbohydrate. You eat a container of yogurt, carbohydrate. And then we have a piece of fruit, more carbohydrate. So this week what I want you to start on with this group is I want you to look at your plate and ask yourself, what am I eating besides just carbohydrate? Okay, so could I maybe swap out that fruit and have a boiled egg to go with my breakfast? Okay, or maybe you could incorporate a handful of almonds or some kind of mixed nut to get a healthy fat in there. Okay, pasta night. Generally our plate is a jumbo plate of spaghetti noodles, and then what do we have on the side? Bread. garlic bread, cheesy bread. So carb, more carb. So maybe we're swapping that breadstick and we're having a side salad. You're putting meatballs on it, or you're having a chicken breast to make a chicken parmesan. So it's not that you can't eat the pasta, but I want you to look at it and, what am I eating besides just carbohydrates this week? Next week, we'll go more in depth on kind of healthier carbs to kind of swap in and out, and a little bit more about how much to have at each meal. Okay? The other thing is making sure that you're getting variety of carbs. So instead of picking just all these kind of brown and white carbohydrates, the breads, the pastas, the cereals, incorporating fruits. So you don't necessarily for breakfast have to eat toast every morning as your carbohydrate. You could have an apple. Okay, we don't have to have rice or pasta with dinner. We could swap it and have a sweet potato. So kind of a different color, different variety of carbohydrate at mealtime. Questions about that? Okay. Next food group is protein. So protein has a lot of important functions in our body. One of the most important ones, as we're working on kind of reducing calories a little bit and healthy eating, is protein does help you stay fuller longer. Okay, how many people have been on a diet where you're eating such small portions, you're starving all day long? And then it's like, okay, when's my next meal? When's my next snack? And we're just constantly hungry and thinking about food, which makes it really difficult to stay with that meal plan and continue with it lifelong. We want you to have satiety, okay? We want you to get full and stay full between meals, and protein is a really important part of that. Great protein sources, your animal-based sources, your chicken, your fish, your turkey, your beef, your pork. If you hunt, wild game would count. Eggs are really good protein. Nuts and seeds have protein in them as well, okay? So what I want you to try to do, starting kind of this week, is each meal have a protein source. Okay, or maybe you start with 2 meals. 2 of my 3 meals every day, I'm going to ensure that I have a protein. So I'm going to have a boiled egg at breakfast, and I know that I can do grilled chicken or fish or lean beef for dinner. So just starting to look at it, starting to have balance, starting to have variety. And then week 3, we talk more about proteins, healthier choices, how much to have, and how to prepare them. Last group is going to be fats. So a lot of us, when we think kind of lowering calories, we want to stay away from fat and cut it all out and get rid of it. That's kind of old news, what they wanted you to do. And even for heart health, if you're someone that has elevated cholesterol or history of heart disease, they used to tell you, cut out all fat, don't have it. And they've really changed that the past 5 years or so. What it's focusing on now is kind of out with the bad and in with the good. So incorporating things like nuts and seeds and avocados and olive oils, they have a lot of important functions in the body. They help with satiety a lot. They can help with inflammation in the body. So they're a good thing to incorporate. So I don't want you to think of fats as bad and that we're trying to get rid of them. What we're going to focus, healthy fats are okay, and healthy fats are good to incorporate. And we will go more in depth about these kind of in the week about the fats. But for now, nuts, seeds, avocados, olive oils, they're a good thing. Try to have some here and there and incorporating them in your meal plan. Questions about carbs, fats, or protein so far? Okay. Yep.
On the lean meat, what's the definition of lean meat?
So a simple analogy to get you by until the protein section, the more feet it has, the more bad fat and cholesterol. So, general rule. So fish, no feet. Turkey, chicken, 2 feet. Pigs and cows, 4 feet. So more chicken, fish, and turkey. And then when you're picking beef or pork, the leanest ground meat that you are able to get, or draining the fat off of it, trimming visible fat off of different cuts of meat, and then watching how you're prepping it. So less fried food, more baking and broiling and grilling. Okay, and then I'm just going to show you this little video real quick. I just kind of like how it talks about variety. And it's just like a minute, so we'll watch real fast.
Eating healthy is important, The foods and drinks you choose for meals and snacks can help you be healthier now and in the future. And it's more than eating one healthy meal or one healthy snack. Your food choices add up and they all matter. So where to start? First, choose foods from all 5 food groups throughout the day and throughout the week. Fruits, vegetables, grains, protein foods, and dairy. Your fruits and vegetables can be fresh, frozen, dried, or canned. Try roasting or steaming them as a healthful option. Try starting your day with whole grains, like oatmeal or whole grain cereal. For extra flavor and crunch, add your favorite fruit or a handful of nuts. Stuck in the same old routine? Mix up your protein foods. Try seafood twice a week. And enjoy milk and yogurt in recipes or on their own. Read labels and ingredient lists to compare foods and choose healthier options. Across all of your choices, drink and eat less sodium, saturated fat, and added sugars. And hey, we know it's not always on a plate. It's about making shifts no matter where you are. Start with small changes to make healthier choices you can enjoy. Small changes add up to big wins. For more information, visit choosemyplate.gov.
So kind of the key of that, just like what we've talked about, is variety. So you're not eating just one food group. We're not omitting one food group. We're not going on restrictive, extremely low calorie intake. We're thinking kind of general healthy lifestyle, general having balance in there. Using the plate method, which that video showed a lot, is really helpful. So what this is, it's taking your plate and dividing it into fourths. So you have a fourth of your protein, a fourth of that vegetable, a fourth of your grain, and a fourth of the fruit. How many people's plates look like this now? Probably not a whole lot of us. So this is a simple, easy visual that you can just start glancing at your plate and asking yourself, what am I eating besides carbohydrate? Okay, do I have some kind of protein, or do I have a healthy fat? Something in there to give your body a little bit of variety. I bought one of these plates at Hy-Vee. I got mine at Hy-Vee in Liberty. I think it was $4.99. So you can buy tools like this if it's something that would be helpful for you to use at home. Glancing at the label, so we'll go more in depth about this during the grocery kind of store tour week. But what I want you to start with at the label is you have to look at the serving size. Okay, you can't just have the package and glance and say, 100 calories. Because that might be 100 calories, but there's 6 servings in the package. Okay, you have to start there first. For instance, a 20-ounce bottle of soda, it says there's 2.5 servings in it. Okay, most of us, when we drink a bottle of soda, we drink the whole thing. So that means 2.5 times the calories, the carbohydrates, the sugar, etc. So for now, I want you to starting to get aware of them. I want you to start looking at the serving, becoming aware of different portions, and just increasing awareness this week. Don't be fooled by what the package says. A lot of us, we pick up a package of 100-calorie Oreos because it says 100 calorie. Or it says lower fat, lower sodium. So it sounds like a healthier option. You still want to turn it around. You still want to look at the list of ingredients. You want to look at the actual nutrition, not being fooled by just what the claim says. Next important part to kind of get started this week, and we'll go more in depth about it again during the Rethink Your Drink section, is starting to really increase your intake of water. Okay, kind of the minimum is what they say, 64 ounces a day. I'm not someone who's going to give you a list of foods that I can't have this, I can't have that, but sugary drinks are probably the number one thing I'd say work on decreasing. So if you are a foo-foo coffee drinker, you're drinking lots of juices, lots of sodas, sweet teas, Gatorades, I would really start decreasing those because those liquid calories do not keep you full in the day. Okay, they just kind of go right through. Research shows that people who say, I'm going to drink my calories instead of eat them, it doesn't work that way. They just end up eating more calories in the day. So the more you can work on decreasing those, the better. And replacing it, obviously water. You can do some tea and coffee. Crystal Lights, Mios, and other sugar-free drinks like that. All right, food diaries. Who's kept a food diary before? Food record. All right, good. So why are these helpful? What have you guys liked about them in the past?
You see exactly what you have through the day.
Yeah, it holds you accountable, it makes you more aware, and it's kind of written history of what changes you've made along the way. This is also a very helpful tool for myself and the other dietitians to help you make changes and track. Okay, you could just email me and say, hey, I ate breakfast every day this week, which is great, but the more I can look at it and see, well, what did you have for breakfast? What can we swap in and out to make healthier choices? It's going to help us help you. So we'll get to it in a second, but your first week challenge is going to be keeping a food record. There are some sheets up there by Casey and Becky if you like a paper copy that you can do, or they are also going to be uploaded that you can do them electronically and then send in an electronic copy as well. It's just whatever will work best for you. They are a great tool for weight loss, a great tool for lifestyle change, and I encourage you, the more detailed and accurate you can be with it, it's going to help you in the long run. So what we want to also focus on this time, which is a little bit different than the last session, is we really want your goals to be more of SMART goals. So what this is going to do, kind of more definition to what you're going to change, how you're going to do it, and then how are you going to track it? How are you going to measure your change? So SMART goals stand for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and kind of a time frame on it too. So some examples of a good goal but not a SMART goal would be, I will eat breakfast. Okay, so that's a good goal. But to make it more specific, starting January 11th, which is tomorrow, I'm going to eat breakfast 5 times this week that include 2 food groups. Okay, so it has a time frame. It's a week. We have a start date. We know how we're going to measure it. We said 5 out of the 7 days, and you're going to include those 2 food groups. So it's just a lot more specific and a lot more measurable. Okay, not SMART goal, I'll make healthier drink choices. Okay, well, how are we going to do that? When are we going to start? So starting tomorrow, every day I will replace 1 can of soda with 1 bottle of water for a whole month. So we got a time frame, we got a start date, and we got how we're going to do it. Not SMART, I'll eat healthier carbs. SMART would be starting tomorrow, at least twice a week, I will choose whole grain toast at breakfast instead of white toast. So we're very specific with it. Okay, I also want you to pick a goal. The R stands for relevant. Okay, if you're not a soda drinker, don't make your goal, I'm going to cut out soda. Okay, because that's not going to do anything for us. So make it a relevant goal to what you want to achieve and what's going to help you live that healthier lifestyle. Okay, if you never skip breakfast, don't make it, well, I'm going to eat breakfast every day. So make it something that is going to, in the long term, make you healthier. Questions about these goals? Okay. In your packets as well, you guys have contracts for success, which I think is on page 3. So we do want you to fill these out. Are we going to turn these in or for them to keep?
This is for you guys. I want you to put this on your desk, on your fridge, frame it in your office. Maybe not that far. But keep it so that way you guys know that you've made a contract for yourselves. You guys are going to hold yourselves accountable to these goals for the next 60 days. You guys can do this.
And the important thing about the contracts for success, don't just make this just the number on the scale. We also want you to focus on what we're referring to as non-scale victories, so NSVs. So things besides just that red number flashing up at you. Maybe you're wanting to reduce your cholesterol. Maybe you want to work towards, walking or jogging a 5K this spring. Pick something that is not number related, because there's so many aspects to health and well-being besides just that number on the scale. The contract for success gives you a few examples, And then we also have a place on page 2 that you can write in your own kind of non-scale victory. And we want all of you guys to pick something. And I would love for you to email me when you turn in, get to it. Whoop. When you turn in, if I can get to it, this week's challenge, to let me know what that non-scale victory is. So then myself and the other dietitians, we can kind of check in with you along the way. And that just serves as another motivator for you. Okay, so this week, your challenge is we want you to keep a food diary. Okay, so you can either use the printed out copy, you can do an electronic copy, or if you like MyFitnessPal or different apps, that will work too. But we do want you to turn these into us. And this week, I kind of set your SMART goal for you. In the upcoming weeks, we'll have you pick your own, so it can be more specific to you. But just to kind of start you out and give you a little practice with it. This week we have starting January 11th, so starting tomorrow, that you will keep an honest food record. Okay, so if you had a Snickers for your afternoon snack, don't try writing down that you had baby carrots. Okay, be honest. We want you to keep it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, your snacks, and your drinks. So for at least 5 days. So you get 2 days of little wiggle room. If you can keep all 7 days, absolutely. But your goal is to at least keep 5. And then you will email those in to smart@nkch.org. Okay, so the challenge, keep a food record, an honest food record, and then turn it in. And try to be as specific as you can. You know, don't just write down breakfast was toast and an egg. My breakfast was 2 pieces of whole wheat toast with 2 scrambled eggs. You know, be more specific with your quantity, kind of your portions, and what type the item is. And then I want you to remember, changes are going to happen slowly. Don't try to flip a 360 and change everything at once. Pick 1 or 2 things to work on, and you can, make new goals each week of stuff to do. But things happen slow, and those small changes really add up to the big overall picture. Don't expect perfection. You're still going to have that Snickers occasionally mid-afternoon. It's nothing to be guilty about. It's nothing to, beat yourself up over or think that you fell off the wagon with. Get back on with it tomorrow. We're thinking the big picture, and we're thinking overall health. So take charge of your health. You can do it. And that is all for today. Questions, concerns, comments? Casey does.
I have a question. So I track my food on MyFitnessPal. How do I send that? Take screenshots. Screenshot it, upload it, send it via email. I've been tracking on my paper sheet. How do I turn that in? Take a picture of it. Bring it to HR. I will take a picture of it. Okay? Just make sure that we get it so that the dietitians can see what you are eating. Okay?
Perfect. Okay, so weigh-ins tomorrow if you want to. Bariatric Center, 3rd floor pavilion from 8 to 9:30. And then they're Friday in HR as well. And our email is set up. It goes to all of us. So if you have questions after this, you can email, and we will hear from you that way. And then we will talk to you next week.